This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, brought to you by Taco John's. Hey, I want to thank our friends at Taco John's. They brought over those delicious sirloin steak burritos, man. They were awesome. Potato Olays and the new lemonades that they
Sparkling
have.
lemonade.
Yes, very, very good. You want to check those out over at Taco John's in Cheyenne.
I think for some of them, it's kind of limited time run. I do believe up until September 2nd
Right.
is when they're kind of, it's kind of a test out feeling of, if it's something that should be graced on the menu boards.
Well, summertime ends too. So, these are summertime beverages.
Again, that sparkling lemonade is good for all time.
Anyway, we want to thank our friends over at Taco John's, the home of the loaded potato Olay, 6-pack at a pound. Taco Tuesdays, and of course now there's sirloin steak burritos. There's a half dozen choices for you, including breakfast sirloin steak burritos at Taco John's. We also want to thank Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30. Check out the Jayco of your dreams today, whether it's an RV or fifth wheel. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service has one to match your likes, and you know what? Matter of fact, you're going to save some big bucks as well. We also want to thank our friends over at Chick-fil-A, corner Windmill, Del Range, right across from Menards. Cindy and Ray and the whole staff invite you to come on by and check out Chick-fil-A for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner, Monday through Saturday. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. AJ and Greg Miller and the entire staff over at Key invite you to come on by, take a test drive. And again, they've got a great selection of 18s on the lot right now. Take one home with you today. Well, do the paperwork and then take one home with you. Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations. You'll find Rick and his great staff over on Vandehigh. You'll also find the staff over at the corner of College and Pershing, Platte Valley Bank times 2. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs on Bluegrass Circle next to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body times 2. We want to thank Heather for her great support of K-Ray. And again, they're busy. Oh, by the way, after this latest storm, trust me.
Latest storm, we've had storms, for
I know, but
a week?
This latest week storm.
Yeah.
I told Heather last Monday, I'm not making this up, I said, you're just one hailstorm away from being extremely busy. Guess what? They were today. They were running around crazy. Lennox Auto Body on Dunn Avenue and the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. We also want to thank First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons is the home of Mondello's Pizzeria 7 days a week. We also thank the Wyoming Montana Safety Council, 635-4592, Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, Linkaway Liquors. Grab a cold one for the ride home. Pop it open when you get home at 2825 East Linkaway. And we go to the scoreboard, which is always brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
Recapping from the weekend, at least for the Cheyenne Mustangs, they were down in Albuquerque, New Mexico, competing down in the Connie Mack World Series qualifier tournament. On Friday, they did have two contests where they got victories in both of an 18-2 and 6-2 victory. Saturday's case, they did have at least two games on that day. Unfortunately, it was not a good result for the Cheyenne Mustangs against Game 1 against Albuquerque Baseball Academy, losing that contest 3-0. Moving down to the losers bracket on that day against, I do believe, the summer team out in New Mexico. They lost that contest 4-0 for the Cheyenne Mustangs. It is, unfortunately, season over as they do not qualify for the Connie Mack World Series. So the Cheyenne Mustangs finish out the regular season 53-7. Cheyenne Post 6, they are in action right now in the Wyoming State Tournament here at Powers Field. They did have a contest yesterday, even with all the tornado warnings and the flash flood warnings. They finally got the game underway a little bit later last night, but they did defeat Rock Springs 14-0. They will take on Laramie, the Rangers, coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. They also, too, had to move pregame ceremonies. I do believe they're going to have Hall of Fame inductions right before that contest over there at Powers Field. So head on over there and go support the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers.
Major League Baseball, some games in the 5 o'clock hour. The Phillies will take on the Bo Sox at Fenway. Marlins will be in Cumberland, Georgia to take on the Braves. 6 o'clock hour, we have the Indians and the Twins at Target Field. At Busch, it will be the Rocks and the Cardinals at 6:10. Tyler Anderson towing the rubber for the Rockies. He's 6-3 with a 3.57 ERA. Later on, the Rangers will visit the Diamondbacks at Chase Field. Brewers and the Dodgers will hook up at Dodger Stadium. Blue Jays and the A's. A's got spanked around by the Rocks over the weekend as they dropped 3 straight. They'll be back in the Oco. In Seattle at Safeco, the M's hosting the Astros. Giants will be on the road. They'll head from San Francisco down to San Diego, California, and Petco Park as they will have a date with the Padres at around 8:10 this evening. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a two-step with you and 2 tacos at 2 a.m.
Order number 83. Come on, you're up.
This is the Pepsi that has mastered the art of the late-night munchies and is always down to dig into some deep dish.
Hey, we don't do deep dish, capiche?
Try telling that to Chicago. This is the Pepsi for po' boys, pulled pork sliders, and the godfather of all sandwiches, the Godfather. This is the Pepsi for street carts, anything a la carte, and is dying to make the leap into your grocery cart. Come on, take us home with you. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Are you thinking about purchasing a home? Then Platte Valley Bank can help. With Platte Valley Bank, you can count on local decisions and expect to work with an experienced staff to design a loan to fit your needs. Just log on to pvbank.com and fill out our online application. We have money to lend, and at Platte Valley Bank, we are in the business of fulfilling dreams, enriching lives, and building our community one loan at a time.
All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day,
at Windmill and Delrange.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 71. Then tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 46. On Tuesday, it'll be sunny with highs around 81. And on Tuesday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 52.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today, Monday afternoon. Good to be back after we took some time off. Again, Friday was Media Day over at UW. We'll chat about that here in a little bit. But
we got plenty to talk about Media Day,
Yes.
if you saw what happened, at least what I posted on social sides. But our thoughts of how things were operated over there.
Okay, well,
Well, you already know about it. Again, you showed it to me when we returned. But anyways.
All right, well, let's get into our meat and potatoes of our program. Our first guest joins us from LCCC, and he is the head coach of the volleyball program, Austin Albers. And, Coach, you know, it's interesting as we were talking about Media Day over at UW, and, again, being on the collegiate side as you are. Summer seems to go by really quick, especially if you're a college or a JUCO head coach, because school starts pretty doggone quick. I think it starts, a week or two before the high schools get into session.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to go by faster every year, and this summer went by in a blink of an eye, and now here we are already talking fall season.
All right, so we get ready for the fall season. When do the ladies officially report, and when can you officially start practicing with the young ladies? And do you have to adhere to some NJCAA rules?
Yep, NJCAA allows us to begin on August 1st, which is this Wednesday. We hold off on that a little bit, and we'll have our gals come in. They'll move in on Saturday over the weekend. And we'll get them here on campus for a couple days. Anymore it takes a couple days to get through the paperwork and all of that stuff before we actually get on the court. So we'll actually jump on and start practices and things on Monday.
For rosters, are we pretty much set at this point, or are we still kind of working on getting a little bit more added recruits to the team, or are you pretty much set up your mind of, all right, here's my roster, this is what we got for 2018?
Yep, we're rolling with what we've got. We have 17 on the roster for this year. We're excited about the group that we have. We've got quite a few returners coming back. We're very returner heavy, which will hopefully add to our leadership going into the season. And we're excited about a lot of the freshmen coming in as well. So hopefully some big things ahead for us this fall.
As you welcome the ladies back, obviously physical fitness is going to be something that's going to be looked at pretty much. How much they did in the off season. I'm sure that you were in contact somewhat via email to help them out with the program to get them ready. But how much running, so to speak? Do you do a lot of running and jumping before you start throwing up the ball into the net?
Our captains lead all of our summer stuff, so we send out a packet, to everybody as we start the summer and kind of give them some guidelines and some things of what we'd like to see them do. And then our captains do a great job of kind of running and organizing and putting things together and then holding everybody accountable for how they do that. They actually organize things through Facebook where they have daily challenges and, they post a funny photo or something for that workout of that day. And so they've been doing a great job. Like I said, we have a good core group of returners that have set up a really strong culture. And so the freshmen gravitate toward that and get excited about that. And it gives them a good chance to just interact online over the summer, get to know each other a little bit, and get excited about the season.
Is drawing young ladies to LCCC pretty much similar like the basketball coaches? Yeah, you do take a look at nearby Colorado. You keep an eye on southeast Wyoming, the territory, so to speak. Outside of Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, California, do you look at young ladies that may want to make their way out to this part of the world?
Yeah, we really started off things when I came in 4 seasons ago and really just went very regional-based, very much Wyoming, Colorado, and slowly we've started to expand and spread out a little bit and attract, as we've been successful, start to attract attention, from more of a nationwide base. And so, really for us, we're looking for players that are excited to be here in Cheyenne, want to compete for Laramie County, and whether they come from just down the road or across the world, it really doesn't make any difference to us. As long as they want to be here and excited to be a part of our program, we feel that we can help them develop and we can win some volleyball games.
And you can even say recruiting during the season as well, too, as we look at least for the upcoming schedule. A few tournaments happening out in Iowa, Council Bluffs, Iowa, with the Reaver Classic Tournament. They will be down in Baytown, Texas in September with the Lee College Tournament. It looks like also to a Pizza Hut Invitational out in Sterling, Colorado. But, I mean, that also, too, has to help with recruiting as well, at least getting that name out across the nation. Because, again, Council Bluffs, Baytown, it's certainly not within the Rocky Mountain region. You're going out and about. That has to help with recruiting as well, too, putting the name on the map for local folks there, local parents who might want to attend these JUCO matches and go, hey, I like what LCCC is putting on the table for volleyball.
Yeah, definitely. And with us being nationally ranked last year and, hopefully being nationally ranked preseason polls this year, it's important for us to be able to travel and go play teams that can help us move up those standings. And unfortunately, we can't sit here and, there's not 20 ranked teams within a 4-hour radius of Cheyenne. We have a couple, and we definitely play them as we're able to. But it's important for us to be able to get out and showcase our stuff against some of the best teams in the country, and that's what we aim to do with heading out to Iowa and Texas this year.
We're talking with Austin Albers, head coach of LCCC volleyball. Go ahead, Nick.
What are your thoughts, though, on this upcoming, at least, schedule for LCCC? Again, as you mentioned, you've been here for a few years, at least 4 seasons. Is this one of your tougher schedules that you've kind of made up for this team, or what are kind of your thoughts going forward? What do you also, too, kind of see of maybe a struggle throughout the season for your team where you go, maybe it's that Lee College tournament, that Council Bluff, Iowa tournament? What are you kind of seeing as possible maybe hang-ups for this team coming up?
Yeah, I would say this being my fifth, this will be my 5th season. I would rank this schedule second toughest all time. We had one in that second year that was brutal. I think we played like 16 or 17 ranked teams. We're not quite that heavy this year, but the teams that we are playing are going to be, a lot of top 5 type teams. And coming in last year, we did something very similar in terms of the balance of our schedule. But last year, we were just kind of happy to go and compete and hopefully put ourselves in a position to look competitive. And this year, the mindset's changed, and that's been a big discussion with our team over the course of the spring is now our expectation has to be to beat those teams and move up the rankings so that we can hopefully, looking back to try to make the national tournament again, get a higher seed and put ourselves in a better position to kind of make a run with that first-round game being ever so important. So we're excited about it. I think that first stretch going out with Indian Hills should be top 20, Iowa Western should be top 5. And then coming back and playing at Western Nebraska, who will likely be in the top 10 as well. It'll be definitely a tough stretch there, and we'll have a chance to regroup a little bit before we go back down to Lee and play that Polk State team that I honestly feel should be ranked number 2 in the country, as they were one of the best teams at the national tournament last year. So it'll definitely be a test for us early, which, if it doesn't go our way, could potentially bounce us out of the ratings a little bit. But I think we need to have those tests early to be able to fortify and continue to build and put ourselves where we need to be by November.
Since your arrival to LCCC, as you mentioned, you're going into your 5th season, the formula for success. And again, that's the buzz out there at LCCC. Everybody's very high on the volleyball program since your arrival. Tell us a little bit why it is so successful to this point.
I think we went out and we sparked excitement about the program. And we have a great coaching staff that puts a lot of time and effort in, and my assistant coaches to this.
Go ahead and name them off too.
So Brittany Branson has been my assistant coach for the last 4 years, and her husband just got a business opportunity in Colorado, and she moved on after last season. So just brought a new assistant in. Madison Lacey is her name. She was a former LCCC player, and she's young and energetic, and she's going to bring a great spark to our program going into this year, so we're excited about that. And so the big thing is we've just been able to kind of rebuild the program slowly. That first year it felt very slow, but to just kind of get the excitement building and those kinds of things. And once the wins start to fall in that win column, it makes recruiting a lot easier. And so we've like I said, we started with a very regional base, and then slowly we've been able to expand things. and as the success has grown, the expectations have grown, and our players have done a great job of gravitating toward that culture and that excitement and that challenge, and hopefully we can continue to build on that this fall.
Do you see similarities with the local programs, East, South, and Central, to LCCC as the young ladies build themselves up, getting ready to move on to that next level, whether it is LCCC, JUCO, or D1, D2? Do you see similarities with your program to the high school programs around our area?
Definitely. It's volleyball in Wyoming is unique because being a state that is sparsely populated, so many of the athletes in the area don't play volleyball all year round, and so it's they're multi-sport athletes, and so just working on getting themselves ready over the summer, and we have a combination of both of those on our team. We have some players that especially out of Colorado and Utah that play all the time, and a lot of our Wyoming kids are 3-sport kids in high school. So for us drawing those similarities with the high schools, all of us have our challenges. We're all trying to get players ready in the mindset to come in and compete. And be ready to go for fall, because it's a short, brutal, fast season. We don't get a lot of practice time. We're playing a lot of matches over the course of those 3 months, and so for us to be able to come in, be prepared, and I bet the high school coaches would speak very much to this as well, is if they can come in shape and ready to go, and you can minimize injuries and that time that it takes for them to learn things and be ready to go, the better off you're going to be, and you're going to hopefully be able to start things pretty quickly.
With the college program, UW, in addition to the JUCO program at LCCC, volleyball seems to be very healthy here in southeast Wyoming. So for the young ladies that you have, which you only have for 2 seasons, like we've talked with Coach Ficken and Coach Ortmeyer, you kind of get them ready for that next level, whether it's D2, D1. Tell us a little bit about the Laramie connection, 45 miles to the west of us.
Yeah, they've been great. They've done an awesome job of bringing our coaches over, inviting us over to help with camps and those kinds of things, and building a relationship with us there. We sent a player, Shelby Johnson, over to play there 2 years ago, and she actually just graduated, and will be going on into the life of adulthood and the working field. And they've done a great job of keeping tabs on our gals and recruiting players from our program, and they've got eyes on a few of our kids right now. So we're excited about the relationship that we've been able to build with them, as well as we're in a hotbed for Division I schools. We're a lonely JUCO out here in Cheyenne, but within a 2-hour radius, we have 5 Division I's within reaching distance. So that's been fun, especially during the spring when we're able to get out and connect with those schools and scrimmage some of those schools and play some of them in exhibition stuff during the spring. That's been helpful for our relationship with them, and for them to be able to get out and watch some of our kids play across the net.
Coach, if you don't mind, we're going to take a break. We're going to come right back. We're going to talk more with Austin Albers, head coach at LCCC with the volleyball program. We're back after these words on 1480 K-Ray.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
John Mason here for Lincoln Way Liquor. I want to thank Cheyenne for helping us grow during our first year of business. We have over 5,000 new customers in our database in just 13 months. Our customers love our low prices, free ice, 2% credit for future purchases, and some really friendly service. And we always have 16 weekly specials on beer, wine, and liquor. We ask you to compare Lincoln Way Liquor, 2825 East Lincoln Way. We're not the largest, but we might just be the best.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, Live safe.
Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. So now's the time to find ways to beat the heat, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, a sport that, gets some coverage, but is also a newsmaker type of sport. But it's interesting, too. Coach Austin Albert's joined us. You mentioned with one of your former players graduating from UW, poof, done. Career's over. Whereas you graduate from basketball, you got a shot maybe at an NBA draft.
Oh, yeah,
play
football, NFL, even soccer, you have the choices of those, again, MLS or, all the pro programs. But at least coaching, again, we talked about this with you a little bit off air, but it kind of leads into, in your opinion, again, you've been around the volleyball sport. As you mentioned, as volleyball at least does have that professional stance around the world, but not so much here in the United States. But what does the U.S. need to do possibly to kind of get into a professional volleyball stint? Again, we do know that the Olympics, at least that would be your other option, at least representing here in the United States. But what do you kind of need to see, at least for the U.S., to possibly create professional volleyball?
Yeah, and they've had some leagues and tried some leagues out. What it reminds me of is soccer, however many years ago when it was just starting to get traction and those kinds of things, and so much of it exists overseas. And so right now, if you graduate and you're one of the top players in the United States, you're either making the Olympic team and staying in training, or you're going to look and go and try to play professionally overseas. And so, a lot of players will look to do that, but a lot of the times being away from your family and being away from those that you've built relationships with over the course of growing up and through college, it becomes difficult. Our former assistant, Brittany, played overseas for 1 year and really enjoyed it, but that was enough for her. We had our international setter, Kira, last year, who graduated from LCCC at the end of the summer. She actually went back home to the Netherlands and is playing overseas over there. So, in the United States, I think it's just a matter of trying to, because there's great volleyball and a lot of players, even very good international players, come over to the United States because we have one of the best systems in terms of being able to get a degree while playing volleyball. And so just to put together and form some sort of league and try to keep the talent here seems to have been a challenge in the past. So I'm not sure what the magic formula is going forward, but I think it's something that will continue to build, and volleyball continues to grow, and we see positive growth in that direction. But until we can keep our best players from shipping off and going and playing overseas, it's going to make it difficult.
Is that something, though, as a head coach, though, that you kind of tell your young ladies coming into LCCC where there are opportunities like that, international, going, well, stick with it, go to the D1, at least stick with our program, we'll get you on D1, D2, stick with that, do the best that you can. There are options, again, not just going straight into adulthood, that you can just join the Olympics or go play international. Is that something you kind of talk about or at least encourage your young ladies as they move on?
As we sit down and spend time with our players as they're starting to get through, once they kind of finish up their freshman season and we head toward the summer between their freshman and sophomore years, we sit down and really talk about what they're valuing, what they're looking for in the recruiting process. Generally, our top 3 or 4 kids who are most of the time Division I level talent, we will sit down and honestly, most of them probably don't think about it because professional volleyball in the United States, like you said, is not really a big presence or something that is in the back of their mind. But it's something that we've asked several of our players about. Would you have an interest in playing professionally? And so it's become a tool that several of the Division I's have used to help entice our players over there. I know when Kylie Ridgway moved out and went out to Sacred Heart in Connecticut, it was something that they had some connections and had moved some players on, and just having that as a possibility, if that's something that she decided to do, being able to have those connections with her Division I staff was important. And we have some players on our roster now that have expressed an interest in possibly chasing that dream and continuing to play as long as they can. So, not so much on our end because we're just trying to, push them off and find them the right Division I's. But I know that it's been a growing conversation in my office with our players as a lot of them kind of gain the interest into looking at possibly doing that beyond their Division I, their NCAA career.
It's interesting. You mentioned the popularity of volleyball, and I've had that opportunity to be at UW, watching a couple of matches over there at the high school level as well, and now obviously we'll catch activities over at LCCC. Attendance. Back in the day, it was mom and dad, and a few students would come on in. Obviously we are kind of handcuffed in the rack over at LCCC, but are you starting to see the numbers pick up a little bit when you have matches there at LCCC? Fans really enjoy the product that's on the floor?
Yeah, I feel like it's been pretty solid ever since we started, and we try to do a really good job of marketing our stuff and really getting information out across campus so that students know what's going on. When we do that and they're aware that it's happening, we feel like our games have been pretty well attended. It's different than basketball. You talk about basketball season, and you have a women's game, and then you have a men's game, and the whole thing over the course is going to be 4 or 5 hours long. And so to get everybody there for the whole 4 or 5 hours becomes difficult. And oftentimes you have people trickle in and really fill up the gym for the men's game more so than the women's game, and it's tough. That women's game oftentimes starts before people get off of work. And so with volleyball just kind of being a solo show, it's nice because we start generally 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. serve time so people can get off work and come out. And as the word has started to spread and we've been able to get out and, talk on the radio and do those kinds of things, or go and talk with Cheyenne Rotary and just kind of spread the word about the level of which our program is competing, we've found that a lot of people say, hey, we had no idea we'll come out. And once we get them in the gym, we find it's pretty easy to get them back because the atmosphere's fun. The team's been great to watch these last few years. And so once we're able to get them there, we tend to have a lot of repeat offenders coming back through the door.
Region 9 this year moves north. Again, it was south last year. But again, teams you face all year long. I mean, you face every team in the region. But again, the league will consist this year moving north. Explain the north to us, the competition.
So for us, not much of a change. We've been in the north. That's the odd split, as basketball and volleyball have done things differently. Soccer has done its own thing. So now they have moved everything to the north. For volleyball, no real change for us. It's going to be us and the other 6 community colleges in Wyoming: Western Wyoming, Northwest College, Casper College, Sheridan College, Central Wyoming College, and Eastern Wyoming College. So for us, not a huge change in the landscape of who we're going to play and what we can expect. So we're very familiar with everybody. It's the league that we finished on top of last year, and hopefully we can continue that same success and kind of do the things that we've been working to do and build. I mean, it was my first year. I think we might have been 6 out of 7. It was painful, and we slowly chipped away and kind of got things going, and just trying to figure out and learn how to win the league and build everything that we do around how to win the league has been interesting. And we finally got there last year, and we'll see if we can and make sure we're not a one-hit wonder and try to do that again this year.
Talk about it again as we are shifting north to, at least for Region 9, but that Region 9 tournament will be held here in Cheyenne, and especially over at Story Gym coming up later this season. But just talk about what that means to your team, at least being able to host it, and also to just kind of explain a bit of why it's being held at Story Gym instead of the LCCC gym, where you figured that would make most sense. But just talk about that for the Region 9 tournament.
Well, first off, we're really excited to be able to host the tournament in Cheyenne and bring Region 9 volleyball to Cheyenne. Across the region, there are very, very good teams, very, very good players, and it's a very high level of volleyball. So to be able to offer that to the Cheyenne community is important to us, and I think it will continue to help build our support, our crowd base, and those kinds of things, being able to have such high-level volleyball in town for 4 days. It's being hosted at Story Gym because our gym is 2 inches below the minimum requirements, and so we've been grandfathered in terms of the height of our ceiling. We've been grandfathered in for the regular season, but we had some pushback from places across the league that didn't feel like it was an appropriate place to host a postseason tournament. So we were actually supposed to host back in 2016, and we ended up trading off with somebody and hopefully giving ourselves time for a new facility to be built, which never came around and came through. And so now, rather than try to push things off any further, we just said, hey, we'll host it at a neutral site. We'll do it down at Story, and at least keep it in our hometown and hopefully try to get a little bit of home court advantage here in Cheyenne at the end of October, early November.
You hear that, City of Cheyenne, that bond vote, that thing, that we voted on?
He made a good point, though, and I know you were going to throw, especially this alumni coming up, but I wanted to mention that. Is it really home court advantage for you to play at Story? Does it really matter which facility you're in when you're having a match?
It does. Playing on our home floor, we've had, I can't give you the exact statistics, but we've only lost maybe, I bet I could count on one hand how many games that we've dropped in our home facility over the last 4 seasons. It's a tough place to play because it's small, it's tight. Our crowd is great and shows up and lets the other team know that they're there. And our players just feel, you feel comfortable. You walk out of your dorm room, you pack your stuff up, you walk into the locker room, and you go through the daily routine. So it is important to us, but hopefully we can turn Story into our into our hometown feel and a home facility feel, and we can hopefully take advantage of that and be able to at least ride a little bit of that home court advantage wave as we go into the region tournament.
We just got to paint Story Gym in the yellow and blue out there. Hopefully Clark will be on that. We'll kind of push him on that. Before we let you go, Coach, I do want to talk about a few events coming up here very quickly. First up, the Prospect Day Camp happening August 4th. Talk a little bit about that, at least what folks can expect with the Prospect Camp.
Yeah, so the Prospect Day Camp is a one-day camp where players who are interested in considering playing college volleyball can come out, tour the campus, check things out. We sit down in the classroom, we'll talk a little bit about how our program operates, what our expectations are, kind of what a day in the life of a volleyball player at LCCC looks like, just to kind of give them an idea of how that all shakes out. And then, they'll have an opportunity to get on the court and get some instruction from our coaches and be evaluated a little bit there in the afternoon. Again, I think it runs from 1 till maybe 5:30, something like that. It's pretty short and sweet. Just gives them an opportunity to come out, get on the court, see campus, and just see if college volleyball is something that excites them.
Is that something that if someone was tuning in right now, do they need to contact you to kind of RSVP, or is it will you allow walk-ups that day on August 4th?
We would love an RSVP just so we can plan ahead for numbers and those types of things as we just kind of plan for the structure of the camp portion of it on the court. But we will accept walk-ups and those kinds of things. So, if you're thinking you might be interested, we'll see you at the rack at 1 o'clock on Saturday.
Perfect. And also, too, on at least Saturday, August 11th, you are having the Alumni Weekend. At least it's a alumni match and also to barbecue. Talk a little bit about that as well.
So this is something that we started or have tried to continue to keep going. Our soccer programs, because the coaches have been around, do such an awesome job with it. Men's basketball's done a great job with it. Women's basketball, of course, they don't have any alumni. So it's one of those things.
They're working on it.
Yes.
I was going to say, you'd have to go, 25 years?
Yep. Yep, that might be tough getting up and down the floor anymore. But, for us, we've really tried to pull back players that have played for the program in the past and build our alumni base. One of the nice things is my first recruiting class when I started just graduated this past year. So now we have a big, large group that's ready to come back and hopefully get some things going there. So we're excited about that. That's going to be at 4 o'clock p.m. on the 11th, August 11th, which is a Saturday. And then following that, our alumni will come over and we'll do a big barbecue and hang out and just kind of catch up with everybody. So we're excited about that.
Is it just for alumni only for this, or can fans of LCCC volleyball come out and watch that alumni match and maybe participate in the barbecue as well? Just talk about if, average everyday folks want to come out and they got to get their volleyball itch.
Is there a cost for this particular match?
Gotcha. It's going to be open, free to the public to come and watch. Again, 4 o'clock, we'll get the first serve going against the alumni. And so, yeah, that's definitely free admission, open to the public. Come out and start to kind of see what the 2018 Golden Eagles are going to look like this fall and kind of get that excitement building. And then the barbecue portion at the end is just for our alumni to be able to just kind of catch up and just do a little bit of an alumni gathering and give them an opportunity to fellowship and come back together, and I'm sure tell stories about old crazy Coach Albers back in his early coaching days.
I would think if the coaching staff was a little more wiser, I would do the barbecue first for the alumni, then put them on the floor. That way, you kind of, Now, do you actually go 2 sets in this particular volleyball alumni game, or is it just 1 set? How do you guys?
Yeah,
play
generally we'll just play it out. So we'll go best 3 out of 5.
Oh, okay.
And hopefully our team wins 3, and then if the alumni feels like they have a 4th in them, we can do a 4th.
All right, sounds good. We're looking forward to the volleyball season, and we're looking forward to, again, continued success from you and your young ladies. So thank you so much for joining us.
And also, too, thank you for at least we got some nice little swag as well, too, from LCCC, at least representing the volleyball team. So, again,
absolutely.
Thank you, Coach, for that as well, too.
Yeah, we do appreciate it. All right, Austin Albers joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We are going to take a timeout. We'll be back with more after these words.
For 56 years, 1480 K-Ray has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Also with KYY FM, we are Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM/FM combo radio stations. Add that to the addition of 3 FM radio translators to serve the area with programming from both K-Ray and KYY, and that equals a lot of bang for your local advertising dollar. Radio, yesterday and today, still works. For more information, contact Don Morris at 307-637-0301.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? They can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. They have a 16th-month CD at an APY of 2.05% and a 27th-month CD at an APY of 2.27%. You can feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
All right, good half of football, boys. Now, good is good, but we can always be better. Look at Taco John's. They took those tasty little potato lays and loaded them up with bacon and ranch and all kinds of good stuff. They made something good even better.
Taco John's new loaded potato olays are loaded with craveable toppings for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even dessert.
So olay the day, boys, and play like you're making loaded potato lays.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 71. Then tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 46. On Tuesday, it'll be sunny with highs around 81. And on Tuesday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 52.
Here, the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Larry Perotti along with Nick Perotti. Thank you again to head coach Austin Albers of the LCCC Lady Golden Eagles volleyball team. Speaking of volleyball, let's keep it right there where we were at Media Day this past Friday, where we had a chance to get introduced to the soccer cross-country coach and Coach Callahan, who has been with the volleyball program for his 6th season. He had a chance to step up to the microphone and chat with us and tell us a little bit about his schedule. And what I liked about Coach Albers...
And it's the same volleyball team that does also to at least work with kind of local programs there in Laramie. Again, as Coach Albers did mention as well, they did have LCCC there over in Laramie kind of hosting a little camp as well. So, again, they they try to help at least Southeast and throughout the state of Wyoming and trying to assist those younger programs, or at least kind of give them a taste and what to expect from D1 volleyball, especially over there at the University of Wyoming.
Well, also too, and again with the schedule that LCCC has out, and again, it's just not going through the Region 9. It's, there's going to be some quality opponents.
Well, it's the same situation again. Didn't feel like it was a great question to ask Austin on it, but it's a similar situation of football programs, especially in the college ranks, basketball, where again, especially for seeding, for rankings, you kind of look at strength of schedule, that RPI of who are you playing. Are you just playing against those cupcake teams, or are you putting your true tests against yourself? And again, as Coach Albert said, again, in his now 5th year, one of his second strongest schedules. And I think it translates to that, again, going out to Council Bluff, Iowa, going to Texas, competing down in Sterling, Colorado in these kind of big-name tournaments. They're going to be tested throughout this year, and it's going to be very interesting to watch his team, how well it does.
And also with Coach Callahan over at UW, he's got a demanding schedule of his young ladies. And again, he's only returning 2 seniors this year, so it's going to be a young ball club. Matter of fact,
at first I thought you were saying they're returning. They're returning from Europe as well too.
And this was an interesting statement that he made. They were able to take the freshmen with them, and they were actually able to participate. The NCAA kind of, lifted that restriction.
Hey, the NCAA was actually kind this time.
Yeah, so, and again, as we look at the list here and talk with Coach Albers, there's only one Wyoming kid on the
which is very surprising.
The University of Wyoming squad. She's from Evanston. She's a 6-footer. Her name is Caitlin Freeland. So she, again, she redshirted last year, so she will be into the thick of things for UW. But, again, Coach Callahan, when he stepped up to the mic, talking about some of the opponents that they have this year. For example, I mean, they will have the University of Colorado. They will have Oral Roberts, Northern Florida. That will be the Rumble in the Rockies, which will take place in Laramie. Then they'll go out to Portland, Oregon, where they will face LIU Brooklyn. They also have Montana State. They'll be at the WYO Invite, where Arizona State from the Pac-12 will come to town, and Murray State. And then they go to the Iowa State tournament. So, again, this is not a cupcake schedule that UW has. So, similar to the success that LCCC has had under Coach Albers, the success that the Wyoming Cowgirls have had under Chad Callahan, who, by the way, is 102-55 in his 5 years. That's a 65% win percentage,
which is not too shabby.
Yeah, and he's done very well in the Mountain West. He's 59-33.
And he mentioned as well too, when at least he got up to the mic there on Friday with this schedule, it was something where absolutely we were looking to get aggressive. We are trying to, as kind of same stint as what Austin was talking about with us, again, trying to appease to those ranking officials or whoever's kind of taking a look at schedules of going, yes, we are truly tested. Here, our record reflects of how well we are, and again, against the top-level talent that we are playing against. Again, he was saying that that was his focus for this upcoming season, where to get to the NCAA tournament, you need to be a little bit aggressive in volleyball, and he's addressed it, and he thinks that this team is ready for it coming up this season. So, again, for both LCCC and University of Wyoming volleyball, it's going to be 2 very interesting teams. And again, these seasons, a lot of great action is going to be played on the court, and it's going to be a fun time to go head on over to Laramie or down the road over to LCCC to watch these matches when they are in town. And best of luck to the both of them. It's going to be a tough road.
Yeah, the Lady Golden Eagles, last year's champions in Region 9.
Made it, again, they were, I think, national, at least I do believe, number 11, at least competing in the national tournament. So, again, coming off of a very strong season last year, heading into this one. So, certainly a lot of pressure on LCCC, but I think they can handle their own. Again, no real changes from moving the Region 9, at least to the north now. And also, too, I think they, as much as that's being held in Story Gym, I think it's very fortunate that they play the Region 9 tournament here in Cheyenne. Again, too bad it is not played in LCCC, at least in the RAC. But, I mean, Story Gym is not too bad. Not too bad, again, at least not having to travel to a Casper, to a Cody, to a Gillette, to a Sheridan. No, you're still in town. So, again, I think it's very fortunate that they do have that Region 9 tournament here in town.
Well, and again, across the way over at UW too, Coach Callahan, as we mentioned with Austin Albers having the success that he had last year, UW finishing second in the Mountain West Conference. So again, looking to improve on that. And an interesting thing, where Coach Albers almost has to start from scratch on certain years because he's got a bigger class of sophomores.
In theory, it seems like every year you're going to lose at least maybe a good chunk.
And, and you're looking at over at UW, they've got their starters returning this season, so they didn't lose any starters. So things are looking pretty good for both of our programs.
Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's math. 4 and 2. Guess what? The 2-year program has to rebuild every once in a while. Go figure.
Yeah. Well, the 4-year program, you got 4 years to do it.
There you go.
It's amazing. I don't understand it sometimes. All right, we are getting close to the top of the hour. We're
not taking a break. We've already gone through all of them.
Oh no. You don't mind if I take a little slurp here?
No, because it seems like you do it every time. I always hear you pop open that again, where you hear that sparkling. Psst. Yeah, thanks for doing that on an audio, show. Appreciate it.
Thanks to you. You steal all the water that I buy.
Oh, please.
You do.
Why not just stick your head out?
You're cheap.
You could have done it for this whole week. Just stick your head outside and just gather some rainwater. There you go. We had plenty of it, including yesterday.
I guess I got to put my glass on and got some ice yesterday, too.
It wasn't so bad out where we were, but at least around Cheyenne, there were stints of baseball, possibly size hell, golf ball. Yesterday was... What a way to cap off at least CFD week with 2 tornado warnings, a flash flood warning here in Cheyenne. It was, again, what a great way to cap off what was CFD week. We did have, again, yesterday was Championship Sunday. Winners were determined. It took a time. At least they did have to delay, I think, about an hour with the tornado warning. Same with the Wyoming State Legion baseball tournament as well. They had to delay a few things as I mentioned at the top of the hour, that they did move opening ceremonies to tonight, where they will have a Hall of Fame induction ceremony and a few other things before Cheyenne Post 6 gets in action. But going back to CFD, though, everything is wrapped up. Woohoo! And we did have, at least in the Saddle Bronc Championship, we did learn that one local product, Cheyenne East.
Former East product, yeah.
Yeah, Brody Kress is 2-time champion out there. So, again, at least Cheyenne getting some recognition, getting the championship on Championship Sunday yesterday. So, overall, weather played a significant factor.
Yeah, that rodeo arena looked like a quagmire. I mean, gosh.
It was just pure mud every single day.
All of the rain and hail that we got. And, and it's pretty common this time of year. For some reason, this is our monsoon season. During the day, the early part of the day, as you're getting the rodeo underway, maybe up until about 2:30, everything's all running smooth, and then Mother Nature sticks her head in there and screws up everything. But this year, she was
upset.
She was like on PMS, I'm telling you. I mean, for the entire run of Frontier Days. Now, we welcome the Laramie County Fair out to the Frontier Park Arena, and
I thought that was being at Archer.
No, they have events out at Archer, and then they come out to Frontier Park. But the thing is, over with the Laramie County Fair, you look at the weather forecast for this week, and the weather gets nice. So luckily for all of the showing of animals that the youngsters have, and all, the good old-fashioned.
It's still pretty damn cold out here. I'll admit that.
Well,
granted, next week I'll be
back into the mid-80s this week. I can live with that.
That's still cold. I'll enjoy Dallas, where it's like 109 right now.
That's right. No show next week. You're going to take your first vacation since coming back here. So
I've been to Pittsburgh so far. I've been to Vegas, so third in under a year. So. Yeah,
yeah, but I mean, you're actually taking significant time off. You're going to take a whole week off,
5 days,
and go spend some time in the Lone Star State. We did also have a chance to chat with coaches. Matter of fact, when we were over at UW, we were introduced to the cross country coach, who again is Brian Berryhill. As he was talking about his squad for the upcoming season. And there's going to be something very significant that's going to be happening here in Cheyenne right at the end of the month.
Well, hopefully we'll get him on to talk about this. But
absolutely,
in town, here in Cheyenne, we'll have a big event happening, at least kind of on the edge of town, but talk about it.
Yeah, this is going to be the Wyoming Invite. This is going to be, I do believe, a Mountain West event, Mountain West Conference event, and it's going to be held at Little America. So I think they're going to set up a 5K course, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought with the Wyoming Open, he mentioned again, we'll get that.
Wyoming invite.
Well, I'm just saying with the invite, from my understanding, it was Rocky Mountain teams, though. It was pulling majority of, especially down in Colorado, from CSU, CU, I do believe. So obviously not Pac, at least Mountain West. But I do believe also, too, UNC was going to be a part of this. Right. So, again, it's going to be more so Colorado
You're
teams.
Right. You're right. And it's
Air Force.
Women's.
Yeah.
So both the men and women will be maneuvering through the Little America course. So UW cross country coming to the Cap City here. So mark that down on your calendar. That will be on the 31st. And then also we had a chance to chat soccer.
What was that word?
Chat soccer.
There you go.
I couldn't get it out of my mouth there for a minute. And again, UW going to be a little younger this year. They graduated a lot of experience, and they're going to be back in action. They get underway here real quick, like August 9th. They'll be at, I think it's an exhibition, if I'm not mistaken, at Central Florida in Orlando. Then they'll be at South Dakota. They finally get to Laramie, and you can mark this down. And again, really nice digs over at UW if you want to watch some soccer.
Because they play at the field right beside, I do believe,
the Cowboy,
the
old baseball field.
Yeah.
They'll have Utah Valley on the 19th and Northern Iowa coming in on the 24th. This is another schedule that is pretty loaded for the University of Wyoming Cowgirl soccer team. So, again, they will be.
I think they're introducing, a few Big Ten teams, I do believe, Iowa.
Iowa is going to be coming. Let's see. They got Idaho State, Northern Colorado, Montana, and Northern Iowa, as I mentioned earlier on the preseason slate. They will go to Southern Utah on September 14th, and then pretty much it's Mountain West Conference play, including the likes of Colorado College. They'll sneak in there on October 5th. So it's a loaded schedule again for the Cowgirls. Looks like the Mountain West quarterfinals will be in San Jose this year, and that will that will begin on the 30th of October. I'm sure the young ladies are not going to complain.
Yeah, I mean, it's
San Jose as opposed to being in Laramie on October 30th.
But not too bad. You kind of wonder if we can push Coach Gardner for LCCC of, hey, maybe schedule exhibition match with UW, test your strengths. That would be a contest I'd be willing to pay money for. You get LCCC women's soccer, get a nationally ranked, a nationally known program that competes in the national tournament, at least in the JUCO sense. Take it on the University of Wyoming Cowgirl soccer program.
For an exhibition, I guess
I'd be all for that one.
Put that together. I don't know if they ever.
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Who do we need to talk to? Is it Berman? Do we need to talk to Clark?
You could talk to both athletic directors, see if that ever can come into play.
I'm just thinking up all these ideas. I'm just making the money right now. Come on.
You're just making you're making them money.
Well,
you're not making us any money. You're making them money.
Well, maybe they pass. I can't say it on air. Maybe they'll pass along, under the table.
The residuals. Yeah, I got you.
Sure.
All right. Well, we need.
I get like a 10% bonus of just booking.
Just because you thought of it?
Sure. Why not?
Well,
put naming rights on it.
I'm sure you're not the first person that's thought of this either.
Again, in the public eye, I did. Anyway,
okay.
Top of the hour.
When we come back, a lot to talk about, especially with football.
Well, I still need to go off of my UW rant as well, too.
I got you.
Bright orange and white piece of paper that I've shown on social media that at least folks can see as we're live right now on Periscope and YouTube now.
Let's keep it here. Let's go.
No. Again, we got to go to the top of the hour.
It's not a 5-minute rant.
It is. I'll continue on. Again, let's get in the top of the hour.
All right, we'll be back after these words right here at 1480 K-Ray.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
It is hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Once again, our thanks to Austin Albers joining us in hour number 1 as we had a chance to talk at length about LCCC volleyball, and then again to our little stopover at UW. We'll have more to talk about here coming up in hour number 2. Our program being brought to you by Lincoln Way Liquor at 2825 East Lincoln Way. We also want to thank Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. We thank the Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. You can give them a call. Give Tim a call at 635-4592. Mondello's Pizzeria, delicious Italian cuisine. The Paisanos, they know how to make delicious food, and it's always tasty and delicious. 7 days a week, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D. In the Greenway Commons, right across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. It is the home of First Tier Bank Monday through Friday, where you can talk to them about some special CD rates they got going on right now. Lennox Auto Body times 2, where they are busy little bees thanks to Mother Nature. They're okay with that. They got a plethora of bays to get the job done and get you back on the road. So see Lennox Auto Body on Dunn Avenue. The Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard.
When are you taking my car in for the chips?
You can do it on your own. You're a big boy. Medicap Pharmacy.
Wow. Again, you didn't repay for my old crack windshield that you did. I think you owe me at least for this. I didn't even get you on the full crack of the Pontiac.
I owe you. I bought your
You
Pontiac.
did that, though.
I bought your
You
Pontiac.
made that crack, so you kind of owe me.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, I bought the car. So do I owe him nothing? Bupkis. Anyway, Medicap Pharmacy. For all your pharmaceutical needs, you will find the great folks over on Stillwater Avenue, right next, on Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank with 2 banking locations to get all your banking done the old-fashioned way, customer service. Monday through Friday from Rick and the crew over on Vanda High, and, of course, the gang joining you over there at the corner of College and Pershing. Kia of Cheyenne, where they have a lot full of Kias, and they look good, especially when they're in your driveway or when you're driving them. See my good friends AJ and Greg Miller and the entire crew over at Kia of Cheyenne. Let them put you in the Kia of your dreams today. Chick-fil-A at the corner, Windmill and Delt Range, where you will find delicious eats 3 times a day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Monday through Saturday. Chick-fil-A across from Menards here in Cheyenne. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30, and we also want to say thank you to Taco John's of Cheyenne, home of the loaded potato lays. Also their delicious sirloin steak burritos, Taco John's of Cheyenne. And we go to our scoreboard. First and foremost, we kick things off to find out what happened on the scoreboard over the weekend. Here's Nick.
Well, over the weekend down in Albuquerque, New Mexico, the Cheyenne Mustangs were in action, at least competing in the Connie Mack qualifier tournament, at least to gain entry into the Connie Mack World Series, which is happening this weekend. Friday, 2 games for the Cheyenne Mustangs, 2 victories for them. As game 1, they got an 18-2 victory. Game number 2 against a Colorado Slammers team, they won 6-2. At least Saturday's contest, they had 2 of them, unfortunately not the same results. First game was a loss to the Albuquerque Baseball Academy, 3-0. And game number 2 against the Lamarinda Summer 2018 team, they lost that contest 4-0. So for the Cheyenne Mustangs, their season is officially over. Unfortunately, they do wrap up the regular season 53-7 overall, so not too shabby. We will talk with Rick Thompson coming up on tomorrow's show. Cheyenne Post 6, it was in action as well, too, yesterday after the tornado warnings and the flash flood. They got underway late last night, but they did get a 14-0 victory against Rock Springs. They will take on the Laramie Rangers tonight over at Powers Field. That game is set to start around 6 o'clock, tentative schedule, as they will have opening ceremonies with, I do believe, Hall of Fame inductions, a few other announcements as well, too. So it's going to be a good time, at least a good opening ceremony over there at Powers Field. So encourage all to head on over and support Cheyenne Post 6.
You know what that La Orinda stands for?
I don't know.
Lafayette, Moraga, and Orinda. That was the team I played on back after I graduated from
Lamorinda.
L.A., Lafayette.
But it's all one word, though.
Yeah, it's just one team, La Morinda.
All right. So what about it?
I actually played for them back in '75.
Great. Your team beat our local Mustangs. How do you feel? They eliminated them from qualification in the County Mac. Way to go.
43 years ago with that team for about a month. Give me a break.
We'll see how Rick feels about that.
He don't care.
He does.
Like I said, Lafayette, Moraga, Orinda. That was the three towns. Well, it's not three towns anymore, three communities. And
I'm just saying, it's La Orinda, summer 2018.
And they had two kids from Pittsburgh, California come over and play for them. All righty, Major League Baseball, things will be getting underway when we get done. Phillies at the Red Sox for interleague play. Marlins and the Braves at 5:35. Indians and Twins at Target Field in the 6 o'clock hour. Rockies and the Redbirds, they will hook up at Busch. Tyler Anderson will be on the hill for the Rockies. He's 6-3 with a 3.57 ERA. Rangers and the D-backs, that will be interleague play 7:40 at Chase. It's only 105 in Phoenix today.
Perfect.
Brewers and the Dodgers at Chavez Ravine, 8 o'clock. This could be a good matchup. Brewers taking 2 out of 3 from the Giants at San Francisco. Blue Jays and the Athletics. A's limping home after getting swept by the Rocks. That will be in the Oco. Astros and the M's at Safeco. Giants slide down into SoCal to take on the Padres at San Diego at Petco, and that will be at 8:10 this evening. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. It is hour number 2. A lot of baseball to talk about. Also UW football we get a chance to talk about, especially with it being Media Day this past Friday. Coach Bull addressing the media, and then again we just headed down into the field house.
I was going to say, is there anything else we already covered? CFD?
No, we want to give you your – I was waiting for you to get all your stuff together here so you can do your rant.
No, I was just thinking of what else to talk about. Again, we've been away since what? Tuesday.
Oh, the Rockies.
Because, again, we had Cheyenne Day.
The Athletics.
They had – the Rockies they're one of the hottest teams.
Yeah.
It's weird. And, again, it doesn't surprise me. This is a team that does have that capability. But, again, against the quality of teams that they've done against the A's, who have been one of the hottest teams. Yeah, the Astros, the top team in the AL West. Kudos to the Rockies. They're figuring things out right now. They are right
27 and 24 at home.
Where I figured this was a team that was going to start petering out here second half of the season. And again, there's Still plenty of baseball left for this team to screw things up for them, but it's a situation coming out of the blocks from the All-Star break. They have been nothing but hot.
It's our boys that are screwing up right now.
Yeah, the Giants right now, and I saw it over the weekend, and I hate to agree with it, but some fans right now are saying it's time to just unload. That this team should not be a buyer. Even though Larry Baer has come out and president of the San Francisco Giants has said that the Giants would love to be buyers if they can be, if those pieces are available out there, as much as pieces right now are moving, and it's becoming very limited on that market again, where we're seeing a lot of big-name pitchers on the move right now, again, with a J.A. Happ, with also two Cole Hamels, just to name a few that are on the move. Again, is it time for the Giants just to sell and just start over right now?
They're 53 and 54. They're 6.5 games out.
Yeah,
of the division.
It feels like it's panic moment right now, where again the Dodgers they're not the hottest team, but they're consistent now. They're figuring out things. They're gonna probably take away the NL West. Rockies though, that is a scary team.
I don't think so. I don't believe the Dodgers are going to.
I'm just saying for the Giants right now, the Giants that 6 games back feels like a deep hole right now. It feels like it's nothing that they'll ever climb back.
You can't lose to teams like Milwaukee.
But Milwaukee's a solid team.
I understand.
Granted, you had a 4-game series, and also, too, they were only, I do believe at that time, 5 games behind Milwaukee in the second wildcard spot. It's a situation where you needed those. You couldn't afford the losses that you did.
Well, Rocks right now are a game off the pace as they pick up a couple over the last 10. Dodgers went 6-4, so did the Diamondbacks. And for the Rockies, they sit comfortably in third, 10 games over the Mendoza line. 57 and 47. So, the West is starting to shape up, minus the Giants. So now the Giants got back Evan Longoria over the weekend.
Who did have a few good stints, but it's clearly not showing anything major. There's also news coming out of San Francisco that Johnny Cueto will be placed on the DL for another, I do believe, elbow issue or something with his arm, but I do believe it's elbow.
He was not effective Saturday night.
No, but again, he will move back to the DL, so there is another issue there, but it's right now the Giants. If you want to make a push, you need to get a starter.
The problem
you desperately need a starter, and you desperately need to revamp
the
that
pitching.
Bullpen.
Is what the Giants are famous for. It's not there right now.
No, it really isn't. And it's also for the Giants. Not really their fault. Where again, you had a lot of those pieces retire, like Matt Cain, where you had Javier Lopez, you had Jeremy Affeldt, you had a few other pieces that you had to move on. Sergio Romo, that were part of that key pieces of that pitching staff. So you can't really. There's nothing really to blame on the Giants. Where again, you got to move on, especially with retirements, or again where. Hey, you had to move on with Brian Wilson, one of your star closers.
They didn't want to pay him the money.
Yeah, so, again, right now for the Giants, it does feel on this end, especially as a fan, it does feel like it's kind of panic mode, where maybe it's just best to start over and just renew this team, as they've kind of, they implied before All-Star break of going, hey, every piece on this team except for our All-Stars are available for trade.
They got until tomorrow to get it all taken care of.
And hopefully they do something. If they don't, the Giants have just said, sorry, we're not making the playoffs.
We cash it in.
Yeah.
Cubs lead the Central by a 1.5 over the Brewers. The Pirates are 7 out, and the Cardinals 8 back. In the East, the Phils and the Braves, they're still battling. Philadelphia 1.5 ahead of Atlanta. The Nats are kind of like in the same boat as the Giants. They're 52 and 53. They're 6 games off the pace. Over in the West, the Astros maintain a 4-game lead over the Mariners. The A's are only 6 back, even losing 3. They didn't lose any ground to the Astros because they've lost.
And for the A's,
4 in a row.
and for the A's, it's a situation where they don't need to really worry. This is a team that we just saw before getting swept there in Colorado, which any team can walk in. Coors Field has always been, at least this year, it's been a bugaboo of.
They got shut down run-wise, Nick. They didn't score bupkis in that 3-game series.
I'm just saying, Coors can always be. You don't know what to expect there, where you can easily be swept there by this Rockies team. And whether it is a pitching performance or the offense getting hot for the Rockies, it does not surprise me. But anyways, going back to the A's, this is a team not to worry about. They can be streaky. They can get hot anytime, anywhere. They just got their number kind of caught up against the Rockies. Oh, well, you lick your wounds, you move on. But I don't think for Oakland, I do believe they return back to the Coliseum. They'll be fine.
The Angels, 13 out, 54 and 53.
They're
It's
not
just a
doing
matter of time when Mike Socia will get the heave-ho. Central Division, the Indians, they're cruising. They can go on a 10-game losing streak and still be in first place. Actually, they're 9 ahead of Minnesota. Matter of fact, they'll be in Minnesota. That is your only team that has given them any type of.
And if you're Minnesota, you need to take this series. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, well, they're 48 and 56. They're not good. Over in the East, you got to tip your cap to the Red Sox. They are just kicking some serious butt of everybody. They're 74 and 33. That's almost a 70% win percentage. Yankees, 67 and 37. They're 5.5 back, and then you get the Rays at 20.5 back. I think they're out of it at 53 and 53. So there you are with Major League Baseball.
Well, I mean, they're not out of it. They're in the wild card hunt a little
Rays?
bit.
No.
I mean, they're still
mathematically in it.
Yeah, mathematically. But I mean, that's their only shot right now. They're not winning the AL East at any point in time.
They're 9 games behind Seattle for that second wild card spot, and the A's are in front of them. No, not going to happen.
I didn't say it was a possibility, but that's their only shot.
Let's see what else is going on. Oh, yeah, so we were over at UW. And thank you again to those that gave us the invite, most notably our good friend Tim Harkins, Diane Dotson over at the University of Wyoming Sports Information Department.
Yeah.
Good friends of mine for many, many years. And again, most of the Southeast Wyoming media were there. Saw a good friend of ours. Well, I introduced you to him. And it's an interesting point. I will mention this before we get into your little situation.
My situation. I mean, it was kind of ours because we took my car.
But a buddy of mine, he works at Casper. He's not affiliated with the radio station. He's kind of like a hired gun.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the corporates up there, there's one corporate in particular, was carrying Natrona Kelly Walsh football.
Mm-hmm. And again, two at least for Natrona, a very successful program.
And Kelly Walsh under Coach Vance doing okay. You know, they're
it's
all.
Not as at least doesn't have the notary that is.
Coach Harshman has put a winner out for the last umpteen years.
Again, you put them up there with Sheridan, Natrona. They're always the favorites going into whatever season
but
of going.
Interesting note is that at least here in southeast Wyoming, 2 radio stations in this town carry. We try to do our best to carry the 3 high schools.
Well, I made it even. Again, you can see that schedule on our website, 1480krae.com. Go under our at least sports broadcast schedule page, and under there you'll see what games we'll be carrying this 2018 season. But I made sure that we carry, again, we have 3 high schools. We'll see all 3 of those teams 4 times this season, whether it is East versus Central, South versus Central, South versus East. I do believe the only farthest road trip we will have is we'll see the South High Bison travel up to Casper Kelly Walsh. And then also, too, we will have Central heading on over to Laramie. So, but again, at least I want to make precedent that we made sure that every team is seen at least in an even amount, that we're not, favoriting anyone over another. So, again.
But going back to my story, though, with the gentleman from Casper, and like I said, I've known him for a long time. Matter of fact, I replaced him as the public address announcer for basketball way back when. But he's been the hired gun doing.
I was going to say, what, they were just like begging for people, and then they just went to you? They were pathetic and had to go with you, huh? Oh, what, I can't make a joke on a Monday morning?
You are a joke.
You're a joke. Continue on.
Your entire speech problems are a joke.
Oh, please.
Anyway.
I talk way better than you.
Right. Okay.
What was that word?
Right. Anyway, so talking with this gentleman, Jack, and he's been doing KW and Natrona football. They've had a hard time selling it. Advertisers, and again,
and Casper, the second largest city in the state.
Yeah, where we have wonderful sponsors, and again, I
local sponsors.
I tip my cap to those local sponsors. Matter of fact, I know a couple more joined us today for our high school as well as LCCC broadcast throughout the course of the year. But it's interesting; they can't sell that product up there, or they don't want,
and it's not like
they don't want.
And
to
again,
sell
it's not like a terrible product. Again, Natrona County, we saw last year, made it to the championship game against Sheridan, and inevitably lost there over in Laramie. Kelly Walsh, again, it's a team that needs to build a little bit more to get to that notoriety that is Natrona County. But again, it's nothing. They're not terrible. They're not Campbell County terrible. What we saw last year, it is a team that can make the playoffs, can possibly move on. But again,
both teams should
does not have the historical.
Both teams should be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what I'm saying, and I'm going to wrap it up here in a nutshell. As of today, which is July 30th, with the football season, 26 days away, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
If I have my math right.
If I have my counter.
26 days away. As of today, nobody in the Casper area will be covering high school sports for either Natrona or Casper Killowell. So, again, I feel fortunate here, at least in southeast Wyoming. Whether they're competition or not, don't care. At least we have 2 radio stations in this town, on the both locally owned and operated, by the way, that are at least carrying our high schools. And, again, unfortunately, we can't carry 3.
And I mean, hell, even here with 1480 K-Ray, again, not going to announce anything, at least right now, but we are looking to expand on our broadcast as well, too. Again, add more product, at least more value to listeners, for at least people out there who are interested in these teams. Again, at least with what we do with these broadcasts. Again, we are looking to expand on it, as we are a multimedia format right now with this show. Again, as we are live on Periscope, YouTube right now, again, where you can stream with us live on 1480kray.com. You can get us on 2 different stations, whether it is the FM of 101.1 or 1480 AM. You know, again, it's just interesting that the second largest city in this town, at least in this state, does not have their act together with this.
It's a crying shame that.
But here we are expanding on and trying to at least. And again, it's been my vision, and I always try to do bigger and better, do something that no one else is doing here. And I think if it goes well, that we will, for this 2018 season, introduce something that is going to be worthwhile. And again, add a little bit additional people to our broadcast. But it's just a phenomenon of why I don't understand it.
Well, in this day and age, and there's a couple things that can happen.
You can't tell me that there's businesses up there that do not support Kelly Walsh, do not support Trona.
It's silly stupid that they don't. But here, you know, we still do it the old-fashioned way. We still have a board engineer, because if anything goes wrong with a computer, we just can't just drop everything we're doing at the site and run back and try to fix it.
Well, there's ways, but you don't want to get on board with it.
No, I don't. I want to do it the old-fashioned way. I feel comfortable talking to a board engineer. I also, have 2 people that we will have doing the ball games. This year we're going to expand it to 3.
You and me. Well, again, you're talking 2 additional. It's like you are going to be one.
Yeah, well,
I will be the other.
But my point is, though, we do things the way radio should be done.
Yeah,
locally produced. And again, like I said, it's
well, you do it the old-fashioned way, and again, I add on a little additional.
You add more of the modern technology, and I appreciate it.
Which again, you have to at this point in time. Here we are in 2018. Again, you have to get on board with that. So, but again, we'll not announce anything when we have everything in place. We will have a special announcement of what we will bring to our high school football broadcasts, and possibly also to our basketball broadcast for both high school and LCCC coming up this 2018 season and for the future.
And all we say to our advertisers out there, buy more, so I can buy more and more and more too. All right, we're gonna take a timeout. We got to get into some business here. The Nixter will have. I guarantee you, when we come back from the break, the Nixter will have the microphone. We'll be back after these words.
Do you have a big remodeling project in mind? Then the best tool for you is a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank. Whether you are remodeling, making home repairs, or expanding, a home equity line of credit can help you finish that project. Stop in and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank.
Some restrictions may apply, subject to credit approval. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast, only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range. The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year.
to travel the countryside. And what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com.
Summer is here, and the Wyoming Beer Distributors wish you a happy and safe summer with this reminder. If you are serving alcohol at one of those great backyard barbecues or company picnics, it's your responsibility to make sure that none of your guests drink and drive. Pace the drinks, push snacks. Be sure to offer non-alcohol beverages and stop serving alcohol well before the party's over. No one should be put at risk because of drinking. It's up to you to do your part. This message sponsored by the Wyoming Beer Distributors Association, the Wyoming Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 71. Then tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 46. On Tuesday, it'll be sunny with highs around 81. And on Tuesday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 52.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
I do believe that's Nirvana and Come As You Are on
That's not hard. That's not hard to figure out.
No, well, just trying to, again, we have an older audience on K-Ray as opposed to we do on KYY, so I was just trying to help them out with the
older folks could probably be listening to Nirvana. Let's see. That hit 2018. What is about 24 years old right now?
Somewhere around there.
Again, that came out mid-90s, so again, you're talking that's pretty old right now.
Before the guy offed himself. All right, so let's get into Media Day.
Well, again, continue on again as we talk with it was pretty much preview of all fall sports. So again, cross country, soccer, volleyball. And then the main event, obviously, was Wyoming Cowboy football.
Coach Bowl was running a little late because of practice. And
again, that was the first practice of the day, or at least of the new year was at least, would you say padded practice? Or, again, it was the first full practice.
It was not pads.
At least full practice. Again, not the spring camps or anything. It was just their full.
Everybody that was there, all of the freshmen were there. And again, a lot of questions asked of Coach Bowl, which – he answered,
which we've already
we've heard all. As a matter of fact, we've addressed those questions with Coach Bowl as well too. Everybody seems to come to camp in pretty good shape, pretty happy with that particular day one.
Again, with the running back the only situation right now is, again, you do have one running back that is out with injury. So running back right now, as it was last season, is another issue of just trying to figure out who is going to be it. Who's going to be your main starter. But Coach Bowl, again, without saying or at least putting a definitive answer, said he's pretty happy with what he's seen so far. Again, all those running backs where we kind of ran through last season are a year older, a year wiser, getting adjusted to the system. So don't anticipate a major issue with that. Also, too, did talk about the quarterback situation, again, with Tyler Vanderwall and also, too, Nick Smith. It is not determined. There is no official number one. They are still working with both of those. But again, right now, as the depth chart does show, Vanderwall is still your number one guy. But Craig Bowl, obviously, for pretty clear, at least instances, is not going to announce who it is, right? Especially on media day of going, he's my guy. But we kind of have a clear understanding of who it possibly could be.
Yeah, right now, technically, both quarterbacks are even as they address the fall camp. But with that being said, as of the spring game, the quarterback named as number one is the redshirt freshman Tyler Vanderwall. So we'll see if anything develops throughout fall camp. Things that did happen, got some times. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with this. And I think UW fans should be happy as well, because the University of Wyoming has added 3 afternoon kick times.
Which is not uncommon.
Well, no, but none of this 8:30 stuff.
Well, again, what does that have to do with? That is dealing with TV. That is dealing with the CBS Sports Network, AT&T Sports Network, wherever the hell you're putting these games on. That is TV money, but you got to deal with what it is.
So here's what we have for you. At New Mexico State in Las Cruces, that'll be a 6 o'clock start time. On the 1st, when they're home for the Hall of Fame game.
That's on the road, so it really doesn't matter. I mean, other than because is that something you're going to be able to watch on TV? Is that an ESPN3 game?
What are you talking about? Right now, television is to be announced for New Mexico State. Okay. Washington State at home on the 1st, 1:30 kickoff. CBS Sports Network.
Which is usually normal for those kind of big-time. Again, it is kind of normal, especially against those big-time opponents. I remember years back, Texas coming into town, it was that kind of noon or at least mid-afternoon kickoff, so no big surprise there. Don't anticipate. Is that a TV game?
CBS Sports Network. Okay. September 8th at Mizzou. That will be a 5 o'clock kickoff. That will be on ESPN2 or on the U. Don't know yet.
He'll probably get moved to the U.
The ever-popular Wofford on the 15th. That will be a 2 o'clock time. That's a kickoff of 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I like that. Then they have the bye week. That was something that Coach Bowl also discussed.
Two bye weeks.
Two bye weeks. On the 29th, they come back to work against Boise State. That will be a 5 o'clock kickoff.
And again, prime time,
CBS
obviously.
Sports Network. And again, still daylight. Again, we're still in daylight savings time at that time. On the islands at Hawaii, they will at Aloha
Obviously,
Stadium.
you got to go a little early for that
Well,
one.
it'll be 10 p.m. Mountain time.
Well, I'm just saying you still have to go early for out there to accommodate. So
That's a 4-hour difference, so it'll be 10 o'clock Mountain time here. Fresno State still has not been determined. It will be on the ESPN networks on the 13th. The 20th against Utah State, that is a 12:30 kickoff on October 20th. At CSU on a Friday night during high school football playoffs, 8 o'clock at CSU on CBS Sports.
Who cares on that game? Again, just tune in for high school action out here again, where we're going to be thick in playoffs. Again, that should be first round of playoffs if I got my calendar right. So
anyway, San Jose State, November 3rd. That's a noon kickoff. So again,
not bad.
I'm tipping my cap here because these are games again that are
and again I
get you home.
But what we saw last year with the times, I think it's more so because again, who was the star guy? Who had the nation's attention? One Josh Allen.
Right.
Again, he's the primetime guy. You wanted to, get out of the markets that were the Rocky Mountain area going, hey, here's New York, here's California. Hey, I want to see this guy. I want to see, as he's been hyped up at being a first-round pick, a possible number 1 overall. I think those times that we saw last year of being so late were, hey, we'll put him on the prime time because, again, it is Josh Allen.
But you don't want to hype up the UW defense. It's forecast.
You don't have a star. You don't have a star player though. That's the thing about it.
And
again, these.
And Granderson.
He's not. Both of them are not projected to be number 1 at least.
They're on
first
like
round.
about 4 watch lists right now defensively.
At least for awards, but again, on the NFL draft board, they're not at least talked about in at least of how much hype Josh Allen got last season. They're nowhere even near that. Sure, we know the Wyoming defense is fantastic, but again, what are you watching? Again, you're watching for offense. You're watching for those big names. We had it last year. That's why those times reflected. And I think that you're seeing it why we get in those afternoon games where, again, we're back to old Wyoming Cowboy football where, again, is someone in New York, is someone in Ohio really going to tune in for a primetime game that features Wyoming? Not at this point in time.
After the San Jose State, we have our second bye week on November 10th. Then we return on the 17th for the final home game of November, and that will be to be announced. And again, that's dependent upon where both teams are at in the Mountain Division.
Yeah, if they're both doing successful.
And that will be on the ESPN networks. It says
if
the Big Boy one or the Deuce.
Yeah, or 3 or something.
I think it's going to be on the Deuce.
We'll see.
And then on the 24th, after Thanksgiving, they will wrap up at New Mexico, and that's a 12:30 kickoff from Albuquerque.
No TV for that one, or is that going to be
it's a TBA?
Those TBAs, I have a feeling, are probably your Facebook Coliseum games, or again, they did last season, that'll probably be that.
It depends on how UW's doing. Then on the 1st of December, the Mountain West Championship game, again, that's TBA right across.
Which they did alter, at least where we had the debacle last year between Fresno and Boise, where under the new rules, Fresno should have been the host site. So, again, that'll be interesting to see. Right now, I think, at least for times, hopefully this does encourage fans to go out there again, where it is not later in the day, it's mid-afternoon. Hopefully it does bring up attendance as much as attendance is going to be, I would assume. I don't think you really can go against this opinion of it's going to be down. I really think it's going to be down. It's nothing what we saw last year because, again, what was the core reason of why fans were going out? Again, you had the big name. You wanted to see what this Josh Allen guy was all about before he head off to the NFL draft. I think season tickets, unfortunately, you have to admit this. And again, it's not that it gets a team. I just think, what is going to draw, as we've been talking about for the past year, my age group. Kind of those youngers, where at least kind of younger age group that is not really invested in Wyoming. You might be transplants from other states around the area. How do you get those folks, at least my age group, on over to Laramie? And I think they're going to have that issue this season, where they didn't last year because, again, you had that big figurehead of Josh Allen. I think Wyoming kind of addressed that. Kudos to them, at least the brass, of saying, yes, so let's make it those afternoon games so you don't have to mess with late-night plans. Here's your opportunity to head on out and see a Cowboy football game.
Good. I agree.
Oh, great. Yeah.
No, I'm just
on a commentary show. You give great.
No, I
appreciate it.
Like I said, I'm glad that they got the schedule a little more adaptive to.
I don't think you
to
can
the surroundings.
I don't think you can go away from my opinion. Again, you have to anticipate that crowds are going to be. It's not going to be drastic of going that there's going to be 10
I know it was
fans.
the selling of Josh Allen last year. I don't have a problem with that, but I'm liking the way things should be around in this part of the world because, again, to draw 20,000 fans, if the Cowboys are to be a very good football team.
As they're projected.
Defensively and, again, offensively is probably going to be the work in progress throughout the early part of the season. But with the Cowboys, fan support from all areas. And, again, they know they draw from Laramie, Cheyenne.
Yeah.
And
you might get Fort Collins, at least those Wyoming transplants down there.
Yeah. But, again, with these game times, except for the Boise State game at 5 o'clock, you are probably going to draw very good good draws from the Cowboy State from all areas. Yeah. Wheatland, you can go right down Rock Springs. You should be able to get these people in.
Those fringe cities, again, Sheridan, Gillette, you're going to be a little bit. That's tough as is.
You pick a game. You pick one game a year to come down to. And
again, it'd probably be that Washington State game.
Or
Boise. Again, those two big names.
The weekend. But again,
anticipate Wofford is not going to draw a whole lot, as we saw last year, especially with what was it, Gardner Webb. Anticipate a low crowd for that one. Again, are you going to spend at least a road trip and all that money to go see that? No.
I would anticipate, and fingers crossed, with the Cowboy schedule, they should at least, because I think on November 4th is when we return to standard time. That's usually when it gets cold. But I would think
it's
up until that time of the 3rd, with San Jose State, prior to that, Utah State, Boise State, Wofford, Washington State, the Cowboys, Laramie should be not idyllic, but it will be good football weather. It's not going to be snowy. It's not going to be cold, excessive cold.
Yeah, we'll
and
see.
Again, it's still going to be daylight. Where a lot of our fans
we saw one daylight game go down the hill with Fresno State.
A lot of our older fans that don't really like to drive at night will not have to go through that nighttime travel, going over the hill, coming back to Cheyenne, whatever the case may be. So again, like I said, I like the way the schedule is shaping up time wise, and again, I think there's no excuse this year for every home game for the Cowboy fans to be there in at least 20,000 plus.
Again, I think it's going to be not a major struggle, but it is going to be. You're going to see lack of attendance. It's not going to be anything majorly noticeable, but it's going to be, at least on the university side, of going, well, Yeah, we lost kind of maybe 200 fans here. 300 fans. Season tickets went down a little bit. And I think that's just the Josh Allen effect of what he had last year to, guess what, you don't have it this year. You don't have that big name. Sure, you have a top defense.
You know what cures that? Winning. That's all you got to do is just win.
Sorry, but you're kind of behind the 8 ball with 2 preseason games against a top-level Pac-12 and a top-level SEC team.
And all they got to do is just be competitive as far as I'm concerned.
They're not being competitive against Washington State. You're insane if you think that. That team is, again, what Oregon did. Oregon was a mid-tier Pac-12 team, and they did that last year to this already top defensive team. Sorry, Washington State's one of the elites right now in the Pac-12. That game's going to be ugly.
All right. Before we take the timeout, so we've wrapped up at UW, heard comments from Coach Bowl.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready to head home. And again, we parked by the Arena Auditorium because that's where we were supposed to be having the
inside at the Mickey's.
Yeah. Mickey's there inside the AA.
So we parked right next to where that entrance to get to Mickey's, so it was just bang.
Matter of fact, there wasn't a parking meter there. There wasn't a sign saying
there was no
reserved for Larry Pro.
There was no one directing traffic. Yeah, we got there pretty early.
There was no security there, supposedly. No. So anyway, we come back, and the Nexter has on his car a citation, but there is good news to it. Take it away.
It's still a citation, but it was a fine amount of $0 on it. But yes, thank you, University of Wyoming Transit and Parking Services, for citating my car for whatever reason on a Friday afternoon. No school is in session. There were no parking meters, no signage of anything. They noted that, at least according to this explanation, was only A or day permits only in that parking lot. It was on the Arena Auditorium. They flagged my car for whatever reason, but yes, it was a $0. So thankfully, I walked away with a warning. But really,
it wasn't marked. I mean, that's the problem that they had out there. It wasn't marked.
There were no signs. There was nothing like that. Again, no one was at least telling you where to park. And again, I'll take a little bit blame of not getting, I could have reached out to the sports information directory out there of saying, hey, where do we park this thing? Because they did not inform us. They just said, here's the locations, but did not say anything about parking. So I'll take a little bit blame of not knowing where to park.
All the media days I've attended, never had a problem with parking. Whether I parked underneath the
but I saw all the other vehicles were parked in front. Again, we'll talk about the competition. They were in front of at least they were parked in, it wasn't a designated spot for them. I knew that for sure. But they didn't get flagged for anything. Why am I getting flagged for stuff like this? Are you kidding me? Really, Transit and Parking Services? You got nothing better to do?
Well, and I agree with you there, and I thought it was silly stupid, just simply for the fact that if you look at a parking situation, there was 3-4 lanes that had meters, and then there was some signage for some other parking area, but this blank area had nothing.
Yeah.
That's why I said the word blank. So you thought, okay, and it's a summer day, not much summer school going on, especially at the Arena Auditorium.
Well, and also, too, you'd figure that the university might have...
They were in practice. Maybe that was their fall camp.
They failed miserably. They're going to be 0 and whatever coming up in the next season. But
they use you as a guinea pig.
Again, also too on the University of Wyoming, at least with that kind of media services. Come on, you couldn't notify these guys that you're going to have cars from out of Laramie who do not have passes or anything like that. They're coming for this special event that's only happening between these specific times.
That's why you let off free.
But it's still the principle of the thing. You went through the effort to print out and write down. They physically wrote on the piece of paper as well, too, marking off everything. You went through that effort. Really? You have nothing better to do?
I'm telling you,
Come on.
It was their fall camp.
Come on.
All right, we got to take a time.
It's a failure on the University of Wyoming. No, it's
basta.
It's a principle.
Basta. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll be back with more of Wyoming Sports Talk today after these words.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming, Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. So now's the time to find ways to beat the heat, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-thru window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-thru window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
John Mason here for Lincoln Way Liquor. I want to thank Cheyenne for helping us grow during our first year of business. We have over 5,000 new customers in our database in just 13 months. Our customers love our low prices, free ice, 2% credit for future purchases, and some really friendly service. And we always have 16 weekly specials on beer, wine, and liquor. We ask you to compare Lincoln Way Liquor, 2825 East Lincoln Way. We're not the largest, but we might just be the best.
Hop into the K-Ray Time Machine each Monday through Thursday for the golden age of radio, featuring famous radio classics such as Jack Armstrong and Suspense Theater, along with pioneers in the entertainment industry like Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello, along with many other performers who've captured our ears many, many years ago. Join us for the golden age of radio Monday through Thursday, 8 until 10 p.m. on 1480 K-Ray, also 101.1 FM, and you can also stream all of our programming on 1480kray.com.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Boys, I know you take great pride in being prairie dogs, but a mascot needs more sizzle. And what has more sizzle than Taco John's new sirloin steak burritos? So meet your new mascot, a sirloin steak burrito.
Taco John's new sirloin steak burritos are loaded with steak and bold flavors like cheesesteak, steak and potato, and steak and shrimp.
God, Wachowski, stop eating the mascot.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
Get the unexpected with the new 2018 Kia Sorento. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and with Kia Sorento, you get intelligent and advanced technology for a better driving experience. The 2018 Kia Sorento helps you stay on course with available autonomous emergency braking and a lane departure warning system. Kia Sorento is also available with surround view monitor and parking assist to warn you of nearby vehicles. Come in today or call us at 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 71. Then tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 46. On Tuesday, it'll be sunny with highs around 81. And on Tuesday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 52.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
If you missed out, oh, by the way, I just wanted to throw this little bit of history out. We were talking about Frontier Days last hour. It was on this date, back in the year, let me go back in time here, 29 years ago, so that would be 1989, that the legendary Lane Frost was gored here at Cheyenne Frontier Days on the last day of the day of them all. Lane Frost dying, or it was a Saturday. I do believe it was a Saturday. Anyway, of course, the movie 8 Seconds. The story about Lane Frost. All right, Major League Baseball. The Toronto Blue Jays, who have pretty much cashed in their season, They traded,
rightfully so.
They traded reliever Seguan O to the Rockies. That was announced while we were gone last week. O has a 2.68 ERA, 47 innings of work this season, striking out 55. The right-hander has been stellar, at least this month, holding opponents to a .143 batting average. Now, where he fits in the Rockies bullpen,
he fits in perfectly. Get rid of some other goofball in there of just, again,
like Jake McGee.
Yeah, McGee. Obviously, you don't touch Ottavino, but that whole bullpen's pretty much I'll just say it. It's worthless. Other than Ottavino, and again, maybe a Davis, but the rest of them, I think O fits in perfectly where you want him. And I think for the Rockies, it's a great addition. I think what they did was perfectly, again, as we've kind of pushed on, we've pressured, and we said for quite some time now, what do they need to do? They need to address the bullpen. What has been the biggest issue for them this season is what cost them this most games has been the bullpen. And what do they do? Again, kudos to the Rockies of going, yes, we need to address this. We realize that we have faults right now, and we need to repair this. And they did. Is it something that O is going to turn things around and be phenomenal? Only time will tell. Because, again, pitching, especially there in Coors, at least the stints when he's going to be at home at Coors, we've seen pitchers who are great that struggle out there, so you do not know what is going to be the effect on them, but not a bad addition.
And then the Toronto Blue Jays also unloaded yet another right-handed reliever in Roberto Osuna, as he was sent packing to the Houston Astros. That includes former Astros closer Ken Giles, who will now go to Toronto. Matter of fact, I do believe Toronto gets a couple of minor leaguers in the deal. Now, Osuna hasn't pitched since May 6th. He's been serving a 75-game suspension for violation of Major League Baseball's domestic violence policy. He was arrested May 8th, charged with assault. His next court appearance is Wednesday. He's eligible to be activated on Sunday, and he is 0-0 this season. 9 saves, 15 Ks in 15 1/3 innings, following an All-Star 2017 year in which he went 3-4, 39 saves.
Probably, as we look at a great addition for the Rockies. This one, though, for the Houston Astros,
it's got a question mark. It's got a question mark.
Why would you do this? That's a complete gamble. You're giving up minor leaguers and, again, a few other pieces for him. Yeah. Do you really see something that great to add to your team? Again, Houston, Houston, you're already good as is. No, other than competing with Boston or New York right now, again, you do have Seattle nipping at your heels at this point in time in the West, but I think you have that kind of wrapped up right now. Again, you're coming off of a World Series championship. There's nothing that says that you're going to slow down and that you couldn't do it again this season. But really? Why? What was the reason behind this one?
Right.
Are you kidding me? Anyway.
Well, Josh Allen last week signed his contract, which was north of $20 million, some $20 million
just
plus
average
dollars.
Number.
Yeah. Well, the Jets signed
they
signed their first-round draft pick to a 4-year deal for the slotted amount of $30.2 million.
It was funny because
at least $20 million signing bonus.
It depends on if you're a Jets and an Islanders fan out there in New York. It's been an interesting off season for both of those teams where you lost Jonathan Tavares from the New York Islanders, at least hockey-wise, where Sam Darnold, it looked like that the Jets weren't going to sign him up for at least get him a contract. He was going to have to sit out preseason for at least however long it would have taken him. But good to know that the Jets finally got things underway and finally signed up Sam Darnold, which could possibly be your franchise quarterback, or at least people who've anticipated that he's going to be for that Jets team.
Now, dig this. By rule, and again, this holds true with Josh Allen in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
The contract is fully guaranteed and includes the standard fifth-year club option. So again, his signing bonus, $20 million.
So Sam Darnold can say in 2020, "Hey, XFL, you got some football. I'll go play for you and the Jets. You pay my salary."
2020, it'd be like 2022. He's under the.
I'm just saying
he's under the hook of the Jets for the next 4 years.
I'm just saying there's nothing that says that he can jump ship to another league, right?
That'd
be interesting to see.
He's under contract for 4 years. He can't bolt. He's the same with.
Well, he'd end up just being sued, I would assume. Hey, give us back that money. Yeah.
And probably then some too. So, both again. With you look at
2020 can't come soon. I want to see those. I want to see that where you do have some players maybe jump ship. I would not doubt we see that. We do see that where again you realize that you have it pretty. Who knows what the state's going to be of the NFL at 2020 if it continues how it is right now. As we had more come out, players talking about the national anthems and a few political heads coming out and giving their opinions on how the NFL should handle this. By 2020, is the NFL going to have? Is it going to just be one complete just garbage fire, or are they going to have things figured out by that time and do not have to worry? Because I think that's going to be a legitimate issue coming up in 2020, where at least the XFL's got to find players. Do they go straight to college? Do they go to Canadian football, or do they go, hey, NFL players, you're already established, want to come play for us? We got this brand new league. You got to follow our rules, however, but it's brand new. You do not have to deal with that commissioner.
You're going to have to wait.
So 2020, get here fast.
Like I said, for this quarterback crop that came in, they're all in for about that 4-year deal.
Yeah.
If you missed out over the weekend, too, the class of 2018 was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. I love watching the Hall of Fame. If anything I can put on the bucket list, because I don't get out much. I mean, I do my baseball stuff, and I go down to Arizona. I'm kind of
whose fault is that?
I'm kind of set in my ways. I do my own thing, but I got to get to Cooperstown. Yeah. If anything, why don't you give that to me for a birthday present?
Oh, please, no.
Why not?
Why not for me? What says you deserve it?
Because I know more baseball than you will ever know.
You've been on this planet longer than I have.
That's right. I'm dying. So you need to help out.
Nothing says about you that you're dying.
Well, it sounded good in principle, but anyway, I'm older, so I'm dying every day.
Whatever.
Anyway, Mariano Rivera will lead the class of 2019. Again, in my opinion, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, Mariano Rivera, one of the best closers. Yeah,
this is a tough class next year. The late Roy Halladay, I don't think so.
Yeah, I that was something I had to think about. As again, noticing that he was available. I think Roy Halladay posthumously.
Posthumously, you mean? Posthumously, yeah. Right. Andy Pettit, I don't think so. Roy
possibly, but Pettit, didn't he run in with steroids?
Yeah, but he somehow, some way got off the hook. Roy Oswalt is in that class. Lance Berkman and one Todd Helton.
Helton, he's not a first rounder. He's gonna. I think he does better out of the gates than his counterpart, Larry Walker.
I think he'll do better than Bonds. And he'll do better than.
No, I really don't.
Oh, now his name slips me. The pitcher,
Clemens.
Yeah, Roger Clemens.
I think Todd Helton. I do not think he approaches those numbers starting out of the gates. I think he does better than his counterpart, Larry Walker. But I do not anticipate Todd Helton a first rounder. I think he is a Hall of Famer. I think he absolutely deserves it. But it's going to take him a few years, maybe 2. I give him max 3 is how long it takes him to get.
Do you believe that Helton will be a Hall of Famer?
I do.
Okay.
But I do not think he's a first rounder. Something about, again, you got to go with how the voters think. And again, what is in the back of those voters' mind? Hey, he played at Coors Field, so those numbers have to be elevated. Again, it's the same thing we're seeing with Larry Walker. And again, we talked with Jerry Schimmel, we talked with a few other Rockies insiders who've kind of addressed that of, hey, even with our friend Pat Graham, hey, that's always in the back of their minds, and we got to shift it away of saying, no, these were great ball players. I think that's why Todd Helton, in my opinion, not a first rounder. He is a Hall of Famer, but it's going to take him maybe 2 or 3 years to get in.
I would put him way ahead of Larry Walker as a Hall of Famer.
That's why I'm saying I think he has way better numbers than his counterpart, but is approaching Bonds or Clemens for next year? No, I really don't think so.
I'll make this prediction right now that he will draw more votes than both Bonds or Clemens.
We'll see.
All right, well, gosh, time has flown right by here today. We do have any more Red Skelton for tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Red
Nothing's
Skelton.
changed. I'll let you know when it changes.
Okay, Red Skelton times 2.